Wayne here with Lewis Retail Centers, and we are here at the ICSC Western Conference Show in San Diego, California. As you can see, we're on the final day of our setup today and putting the finishing touches on our booth. It's looking good, the graphics look good, the booth looks good, the vibe is good, and we're getting excited for tomorrow. And with that said, I want to introduce you to Brandon Sipe, account executive with Elevation 3D, and without him, none of this would happen. We just don't have the manpower to do it, the ability to do it. It's way too complicated for me and anybody else I know.
You make it easy.
So, Brandon, thank you for talking with us. I know you're putting on the fires today. You're finishing everything up, so thank you.
You got it.
Tell us a little about you. Tell us a little bit about Elevation 3D. What do you guys do and what do you do?
Yeah, no problem. So Elevation 3D, we are an experiential marketing firm. So we are designers and producers of any like face-to-face marketing events, trade shows, user conferences, customer experience centers. Really anytime a brand wants to have the opportunity to interact with the customer, we can produce the environment for that. So we have 2 full-service facilities. Las Vegas is one of them, kind of handles everything on the west half of the country. Boston is the other one for the east half, and we, like I said, kind of full service, design, produce, we do graphic production, logistical services, media department, really anything that a customer like yourself needs to make this a success.
That's incredible. It sounds like a lot of work. Yeah. For this show, ICSC Western Conference, are you working with us only, or do you have other clients here?
Yeah, so no, we have a couple here. So at the ICSC, the bigger show in Vegas is probably our single largest event that we do as a company. So we have about 30 clients out on that show floor. Wow. As you know, there's different regional events related to that. So here at the San Diego show, we have 2. I think at the New York show, we have 5 or 6, and then a lot of the smaller ones throughout. But you know, we do every show. CES, SHOT Show, NRF, really anything across the country, international even, we can handle. So.
I got to ask you, what's your favorite show though? I mean,
when I'm not working with you, my favorite one's probably the CES show.
Okay, good.
Yeah, love consumer electronics, a lot of cool stuff there.
Dude, I love it.
Yeah.
So if someone's watching this and maybe they're looking to get into the trade show, not business, but maybe they're looking to start attending trade shows for their company, or they've been doing an easy up tent with a little table for a while, and they want to expand it and make it bigger and better. Can you walk us through briefly kind of the process of it? Like how far back do we start planning these?
Yeah, I mean, that's the key right there is, you know, as you know, in the event world, the event's happening whether we're ready or not. So really time is the number one thing that we need to make this happen. So I recommend 4 months, if not more. That's when we really want to engage with a company like ours and start talking about the actual needs and the design that is going to be at the show. So we'll talk about marketing strategy, we'll talk about what you need to do, and then after that, you know, we take it from there.
Good, I love it. And You've worked with a lot of different people, I'm sure. You've worked with a lot of different shows. You've probably learned a lot along the way. What are some tips or tricks or maybe a best practice somebody can take away to make sure the show is not a complete disaster?
A couple things. So one, again, I can't stress enough the timing, really. I mean, time is the one thing you really can't do anything about. So the more you have, the less things start to cost, less overtime. You kind of manage those logistical services a little bit better. But the second thing is kind of developing an overall marketing strategy related to the show. So having an awesome booth is certainly part of it, but it's not enough anymore. You know, you need to have pre-show marketing, either some type of social media campaign, stuff that's going to drive attendees to the show, making sure your salespeople have appointments. And then of course, you know, evening events, in-booth activations, and really any post-show follow-up. It's kind of an entire marketing strategy related to it, and we assist with that too. Yeah,
it makes a lot of sense. So it's not just setting up a booth and hoping people show up. It's setting up the booth as part of the overall campaign.
Exactly.
Very cool. One last thing, what's happening in the trade show industry? I'm sure COVID caused some issues during those few years. Well, what are you seeing post-COVID in terms of the trade show? Any new interesting trends or things happening?
Yeah, so thankfully, I mean, the COVID, one of the biggest things post-COVID was the supply chain issues. A lot of those have kind of solved themselves, thankfully. But what we're finding as challenges on this side of things is we seem to have less time for everything. You know, shows are not wanting to rent the venues out for a 5-day setup anymore, so we only get a 1 or 2 day. So everybody's kind of changing their overall structure of the booth. We're going a lot more lightweight to keep costs down, keep setup time down. As far as design trends themselves, they tend to kind of follow whatever's happened in the residential world. So open concept, mid-century modern, industrial. Then the other thing that you're seeing a lot of in trade shows is just, again, in-booth activations and kind of that sizzle that goes along with it, the experience that the attendee has while they're in the booth.
That's great. Great advice. Thank you, Brandon. I really appreciate your time. I'll let you get back to it. I appreciate it.